Watch that. Watch this. This is the heavy, heavy monster sound. The nuttiest sound around. So if you're coming off the street and you're beginning to feel the heat, well, listen, Buster, you better start to move your feet to the rockinest, rock steady beat of madness. One step beyond.
Gentlemen, I'm terribly sorry for that little hiccup earlier on. I know, of course, it wasn't caught on camera, but I've actually managed to, after that little technical hitch. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, my name is Jack Wright, and welcome to the 11th week on my coronavirus lockdown Singalong 2020. Now, like I mentioned last week, I gave you quite a big clue on what, of course, tonight's theme for, of course, my coronavirus lockdown Singalong 2020 is. And if you could tell by that music, I think it's a bit of a giveaway. But of course, tonight I am paying, of course, tribute, and also I'm going to be singing some of the most iconic songs from the very famous British ska bands that came around and were formed back in the 1970s, 1976 to be specifically, back in 44 years ago. And of course, there's nothing better than, like that was mentioned in their song, of course, A One Step Beyond, it's Madness. And of course, I was lucky enough that over 2 years ago, also, just like with Disco Inferno, like I'd done last week, this was my very first show, and of course, very first musical that I ever done with the Littleport Players. Of course, if you did not know, the Music of Madness has been so popular, it was written as a musical and was called Our House, and it was first performed back in 2002 at the Cambridge Theatre in Covent Garden, London. But most importantly as well, it was a huge success, and also it was the winner of the 2003 Olivier Award for Best New Musical, and it's also internationally been performed to great acclaim. It's also been performed in loads of other countries because of how popular the music from the band is. And also, what is great about this musical is that through the Music of Madness, Tim Firth, who wrote the book and also wrote the musical himself, he explored the themes of love, family values, growing up, responsibility, and dealing with losing the people that shape us in our everyday lives. And of course, all of the most famous songs, like I mentioned, One Step Beyond was performed right at the end. But there are a few other popular ones I'm sure you might know if you are familiar with their music, and I'm going to sing, of course, them for you tonight. And I'd love you to sing along as well, because their music is timeless in everything. And also, one other thing I am quite happy about is that Suggs, or of course, or Graham McPherson, his real name, the lead member or lead vocalist of the band, he also supports my favourite football team, Chelsea, so which is quite nice. And of course they are reached, of course, the FA Cup final for beating Manchester
I don't know
United.
if you should mention that with the football. You never know who's supporting that here, Jack, do you?
Well, I mean, I just want to let you know, of course, I have been supporting the team for a long time, and I'm looking forward to seeing them play at the, of course, at the start of August in the final where we play Arsenal. So it's a North London derby. But of course, Camden Town, where of course the band originate from, of course, that was a big theme in this musical. But there's a load more into it as well, as you could tell by the sounds of the songs. So anyway, I'm going to kick off with, of course, my 11th week of my coronavirus lockdown sing-along. I'm going to be singing a medley of songs from Madness. Like I said, don't be afraid to join in and sing along if you know, of course, the words. And I'm sure as soon as I play them, you might recognise the tune. So I'm not going to give anything away. But let's get straight on with, of course, tonight's, this week, the 11th week of my coronavirus lockdown sing-along, as I sing a medley of songs, not just from the band, but also from the jukebox musical, Our House, the Madness musical. It's a medley of songs from the famous British ska band of Madness. Enjoy, everyone.
Woo!
Father wears his Sunday best. Mother's tired, she needs a rest. The kids are playing up downstairs. Sister's sighing in her sleep. Brother's got a date to keep, you can't hang around. Our house, in the middle of our street. Our house, in the middle of our house, it has a crowd. There's always something happening, and it's usually right now. Oh! Our mum, she's so house proud. Nothing ever slows her down, and a mess is not allowed. Our house, in the middle of our street. Our house, in the middle of our street. Our house, in the middle of our street. Our house that you've got to in the middle of our. Father gets up late for work. Mother has to iron his shirt. Then she sends her kids to school. Sees them off with a small kiss. She's the one they're going to miss in lots of ways.
Woo! Hey!
Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Everyone!
Our house, in the middle of our street. Our house, in the middle of our.
I remember way back when everything was true, when we would have such a fine time, such a fine time, such a happy time. And I remember telling kids, even if they away, they would say nothing would come between us. To dream us. Father wears his Sunday best. Mother's tired, she needs a rest. The kids are playing up downstairs. Sister's sighing in her sleep. Brother's got a day to keep, you can't hang around. Our house, in the middle of our street. Our house, in the middle of our street. Our house, in the middle of our street. Our house, in the middle of our house. Was our castle and our keep. Our house, in the middle of our street. Our house, that was where we used to sleep. Our house,
Woo!
in the middle of our street.
Very good. Woo!
Baggy Trousers! Naughty boys in naughty schools, their masters breaking all the rules, having fun and playing fools, smashing up the woodwork tools. All the teachers in the pub, passing round a ready rub, trying not to think of when the lunchtime bell will ring again. Oh, what fun we had, but did it really turn out bad? All I learned at school was how to then not break the rules. Oh, I thought we had, but at the time it seemed so bad. Trying different ways to make a difference to the headmaster's had enough today. All the kids have gone away. You've got to find the next to school. Every term that is the rule. Sits alone and vents his cane. Same old backside again. All the schools went out on tap. Walking home and squatting down. Oh, I thought we had, but did it really turn out bad? All I learned at school was how to then not break the rule. Oh, I thought we had, but at the time it seemed so bad. Trying different ways to make a difference to the day. Lots of girls and lots of boys, lots of smells and lots of noise. Playing football in the park, kicking push pipes off and off. Baggy trousers, dirty shirt, pulling hair and eating dirt. Teacher comes to break it up, back of the head with a plastic car. Oh, I thought we had, but it really turned out bad. All I learned at school was how to then not break the rule. Oh, I thought we had, but at the time it seemed so bad. Trying different ways to make a difference to the days. Baggy trousers, baggy trousers, baggy trousers, na 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 na. Baggy trousers, baggy trousers, baggy trousers, na 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 na. Baggy trousers, baggy trousers, baggy trousers, na 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 na. Baggy trousers, baggy trousers, baggy trousers. Na 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 na. Oi!
Hey, very good.
Well, that was quite high energy for all of you, so let's slow it down, I think, with one of the most famous songs from the band. And of course, I'd love you to sing along with this one, because I think we need all a bit of this during this, of course, still this lockdown of the coronavirus. And let's slow it down to one famous song that only needs its introduction.
Deep breath.
I know, you can tell they're very high energy songs. That's what of course the band were famous for. So here we go. And don't be afraid to sing along if you know this one. Here we go. I never thought I'd miss you half as much as I do. And I never thought I'd feel this way, the way I feel about you. You know what? As soon as I wake up, every night, every day, I know that it's you I need to take the blues away. It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best. How can it be we can say so much without words? Bless you and bless me. Bless the beast and the birds. I've got to be near you every night, every day. I could be happy any other way. Go on, join in. It must be love,
Love, love,
it must be love,
love, love.
nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best. 'cause when I wake up every night, every day, I know it's you I need to take the blues away. It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. Join it everyone, last time. 1, 2, 3, 4. It must be love, love, love. 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 Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best. Oh, oh, oh.
Yay, very good. Woo! Woo!
Thank you very much, everyone. And with that, I can't believe it. I've enjoyed it so much, just like last week. That is it. That's it for another of my coronavirus lockdown sing-along. I thought you were expecting me to do a bit more. I didn't want to do it too long, but thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Well, honestly, I had so much fun doing this one, honestly. And this goes out to all my good friends, once again, of the Little Port players that done it. I hope you enjoyed this little trip down memory lane. I told you I wouldn't go all out, would I? I mean, it's just that type of music, and honestly, I've had so much fun doing this, and I hope you're all staying safe out there. We will get through, of course, this dark and twisted time, and I've said many times before, I've heard that, of course, the NHS are working on a vaccine as of recently, which is very, very exciting, and I'm feeling very optimistic that hopefully we won't have to deal with this dreaded pandemic for too much longer, hopefully. Hopefully, if it blows away, of course, if it blows over at the end of this year, it will be, I think, one of the best ends to a year that I certainly was not expecting it to be, honestly. It's been a very weird and a very eventful one at that. But anyway, of course, to give you a little tease on my next, of course, performance next week, of course, once again at 8 o'clock, next Friday as always. Of course, if you thought this was challenging, I'm going to do one of my biggest challenges yet. And this, of course, when I'm going back to musicals next week, like I said, I know this is I'm taking a break from the jukebox musicals now, but this time I'm going to do, of course, a very exciting medley of one of my favourite musicals in the world, and my favourite. I know I've done, of course, my dad's West Side Story and my mum's of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, but I'm going to do my favourite one, and it is one of the most famous musicals ever done and performed in theatre history, and it's all based in the 18th century in France. It took a bit of inspiration. It was written, of course, as a novel originally by Victor Hugo, and of course, with his book, it, of course, inspired two Frenchmen to write the musical, originally in French, and then it was, of course, then translated into English by famous lyricist of, I'm trying to remember his name, Herbert Kretzmer, there we go. And the French people that wrote the musical were Alain Boublil and Claude Michel Schomburg, and this was their first big musical they ever wrote in their careers. But it went on to be one of the most famous works. But I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. I think I might have gave you a bit of a clue. But what I'm wearing, of course, next week, it's going to be literally, I think, a full-scale, like, mini performance.
Yeah,
so,
you're all miserable like you.
And I tell you what, you won't be feeling miserable if, of course, you don't come and see it next week. So that might be a clue.
Boom,
but
boom.
anyway, to play you out,
good.
of course, I've done my singing, but I'm going to leave you with one last song from the Band of Badness. And like today, I honestly thought it was going to rain since it's been a bit cloudy. So I'm going to leave you with a song, of course, from the band, and that is The Sun and the Rain, which literally is a song that, of course, makes the city or the part of London, Camden Town, what makes it, basically, because of the weather there, basically. But anyway, from me, Jack Wright, you've all been amazing as always. I'll be back same time next week with another week of my coronavirus lockdown sing on 2020, and starting week 12. I've reached a dozen now, which is incredible, but may it last continue, honestly. I mean, I'm going to still be here as long as you still want me to. But anyway, from me, Jack Wright, good night, God bless, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you next week. Have a good weekend, everyone. Good night.
Woo!